Now here's a recent update in our big story. Amid the spat between social media giants and the Indian government over the new digital rules in India, microblogging site Twitter has released a statement as a response after the deadline to comply with the same has lapsed. The company has said that right now it is concerned by the recent events regarding its employees in India and the potential threat to freedom of expression for the people on Twitter. Now, in an email statement, Twitter has further added that to keep the service available, it will strive to comply with applicable law in India. But it will also continue to be strictly guided by principle of transparency, just as it does around the world. In its statement, Twitter has assured to continue constructive dialogue with the Indian government. Twitter has also responded to Delhi police officers' visit to its New Delhi and Gurugram offices. Earlier this week, a special cell police team visited the offices seeking clarification from Twitter in connection with a tweet by a leader from the ruling party. Bharatiya Janata Party's national spokesperson Sambit Patra tweeted about an alleged toolkit released by the Congress party that the microblogging site tagged as manipulated media. Several BJP leaders have urged Twitter to remove the manipulated media tag from tweets of BJP leaders. Twitter has raised concerns with regards to what is now calling the use of intimidation tactics by the police. Twitter has questioned the move, which was in response to enforcement of its global terms of service. The company plans to advocate for change to elements of these regulations that inhibit free, open public conversation, while it will also continue constructive dialogue with the Indian government. Meanwhile, Indian Information Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has responded to messaging app WhatsApp. WhatsApp sued the Indian government over the country's new privacy laws. It says the new rules challenge the right to privacy. Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that the government fully recognizes and respects the right of privacy and that ordinary users of WhatsApp have nothing to fear about the new rules. Since its entire objective is to find out who started the message that led to commissioning of specific crimes mentioned in the rules. India's new social media guidelines have come into effect from May the 26th. The new rules issued by the Indian government are called the Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code. Firstly, the rules would oblige big tech to reveal the originator of a message or post when legally ordered. Secondly, to remove any content within 36 hours of receiving a legal order. Thirdly, companies would be required to assist in probes or other cybersecurity related incidents within 72 hours of such a request. Next, social media platforms are required to disable within 24 hours any post depicting an individual in a sexual act. And lastly, big tech would be required to set up grievance redressal mechanism and appoint executives to coordinate with law enforcement agencies. Meanwhile, WION's principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibul has sent us this detailed report.
The battle lines have been drawn between social media apps and the Indian government a day after WhatsApp versus the Indian government saga. Twitter has come out with a strong statement against the Indian government. The statement in the backdrop of police officials visiting Twitter India's offices here in the NCR. And Twitter has pointed about that in the statement, saying that these are intimidatory tactics, and also said that the freedom of expression here in India is under threat in terms of these kinds of development. Also, it has highlighted how vital Twitter was amidst the COVID pandemic. The statement coming, of course, at a time when we have seen a number of run-ins between the Indian government and social media apps. And also Twitter in the statement highlighted concerns regarding the new IT rules, the rules which came into effect yesterday, but also the rules which were notified in February. A 3-month window was given to all social media giants to implement these rules, which includes an appointment of an officer, a grievance redressal officer, who will in a sense take care of any concerns, any hate speech on social media. Also, the first originator message traceability, which has been referred to who made the first message. And this, of course, is at the heart of battle between WhatsApp and the Indian government, because WhatsApp is saying that this is something that goes against the right to privacy, which has been dismissed by the Indian government, saying that there is no right which is absolute. Every right has a reasonable restriction, and this is under reasonable restriction. There was a long statement by the Indian government yesterday. Today, in fact, the Indian IT minister has tweeted in a series of tweets, explained the position of the Indian government, but now this development has happened. So it looks like these kind of run-ins are expected to happen and increase their frequency in next few days and months, even as the new IT rules haven't been implemented by none of the major social media apps except one, that's the Indian social media app called the Coup. Siddhant Sibbal for WION in New Delhi.